Peace to the gods and the gods. This is man. About to do a quick little video. I know I got the flyest intro on the planet. Hell yeah, cuz. Yeah. Y'all gotta sit down and analyze that beginning of that joint Luke Cage, man. I'm gonna sit down and analyze it. I don't wanna guess or make diluted accusations or give a diluted decryption. You know what I mean? I'm gonna sit down and analyze it, man. You know what I mean? But yo, man, it goes back, man, to them past videos. Check them archives. That when you're looking at, and that's gonna be a series. I mean, it's obvious. I didn't say it's gonna be a series. It's obvious it's a series, and a series is. You can look at it as a megalithic ritual. You know what I'm saying? You have megalithic rituals that'll last throughout the whole year. When you see them doing television shows like that, and it's being drawn out through the entire year, they would do it like on a particular day. Say every Tuesday that show would come on the regular channel, because it comes, well, I think that's a Netflix series, but they got series that run along the same template as that. Like what's that series? The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead. And I don't know the exact day it comes on, but let's say it comes on a Wednesday, and then it'll come on that Wednesday, and then the next episode will be on next Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? That's how they draw out. The hell is going on with this, cuz? Oh, come on, sinner. That's how they That's how they do the rituals, symbolic death and resurrection, because every 7 days it comes about, and they will draw it out for the whole year. So that would be like a megalithic ritual, for the mere fact it's concentrated yearly, every season. Season is a compound word. Sea and the sun. Sea for the waters, which would be feminine. Sun for the masculine. So they got the female and the male aspect up in it, or the goddess and the god aspect up in it, season, and they'll stretch it out for the whole year. That's how you know it's a megalithic ritual, that they concentrate it out. You know what I'm saying? It's too much to put it all in one day. You know what I'm saying? So they have to stretch it out. You might see them have 13 episodes a season, 15 episodes a season, 23 episodes a season, 33 episodes a season. You know how it goes. But it's all a ritual, man. Based upon the theme, that will let you know what kind of ritual it is. And most likely is always going to be along the lines to perpetuate. Damn, I think I done passed my turn. It's going to be along the lines to perpetuate the human's existence. In order for the human existence to be propelled, you have to know that the race, the carbonated race, I ain't gonna be calling them so-called black people no more, man. I'm gonna be referred to the black race. I'm gonna refer to them as carbonated people. We ain't black. Every time you hear me say carbonated people or the carbonated beings, speaking about the so-called black race. So they have to undermine the carbonated people. And then you got the rituals that comes in a movie format. Moving energy. That's where that word movie comes from. Basically another compound word. When you're looking at movies, or that word movie goes right along a line the word emotion. Movie would be moving energy, M-O-V-I. You know the I and the E is interchangeable. So it's move, M-O-V-E. And the E at the end of the movie, M-O-V-I-E. It's from energy, man. So when you're looking at the movie, you're looking at emotion. We all know that the word emotion basically means the E from the E in emotion means energy and motion, movement. So when you're looking at movies, you're looking at emotion. Emotions. Plural. Meaning more than one energy that's moving simultaneously, and it's all moving in order. The same way how you could watch a movie and see how everything, you might think it's chaos. Say you're watching a movie like Bad Boys and you see them running around, shooting, driving cars on the curve, people drinking their orange juice and eating their muffins, getting all tossed up in the air, driving in and out of stores, and they shooting all over the place, and you got some people getting hit. And then they will show you a scene. Let's say they will show you a scene. They will show you all that going on, all that commotion going on. Then they will show you a scene of a news reporter coming in talking about it's pandemonium, it's chaos over here. Such and such hijacked this car, blah, it's a shootout, blah, blah, blah. Chaos. But is that really chaos? Ask yourself, is that really chaos? How could it be chaos if it's scripted? The movie is scripted. So the same way how they could show you a chaotic scene in the movie, and we know that's not no chaos because it's scripted. Well, that's the same thing that's happening in this dimension. When you see so-called chaotic events like, you know, your hurricane that just hit Haiti, that's scripted. They've been attacking Haiti for a minute. Hold on, man. Let me where I'm at, man. They've been attacking Haiti for a minute. You know what I mean? For a minute. But it's all various types of rituals, man. A ritual is a spell. I hope we all know that by now. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna say I hope. We should know that by now if we didn't know. That all rituals are spells. They are a templated series of steps that's being carried out in hopes, because rituals are not 100%. They need you to be ignorant of the fact that it is a ritual. So in hopes, when they do these rituals, they hope that it manifests out into this dimension where people would animate it out into their lifestyles, adopt it into their lifestyles. And a ritual is part of the matrix. All rituals are part of the matrix because it's not real. It's sort of like a hack. Rituals are like a series of hacks. When you want to take someone outside of their natural genetic code structure and go through a series of steps when certain planets is aligned and the energies is in the person's favor who's doing the ritual, and they got the whole They could get all parts of the planet to focus in on this ritual by way of television. Now you gotta know the television get all the signals from the satellites and all that, and the satellites is a net. They call it a network. You know what I'm saying? It's a net. What is a net? A net is a term that describes a holy grail. Net is a term that describes a holy grail. So when they talking about, like, they would say like spiders and make webs, and that's a net, and it entraps people. That's a form of the feminine energy, trapping you, luring you in. The Venus flytrap, the holy grail, the vagina. It traps energy in, it lures energy in. You know what I'm saying? That's why men are tempted by women. Because the temptation have to do with you being lured in. Just like the web lures you in. Just like the net, internet. Enter or enter net. Internet is no different than enter the net. Enter the holy grail. High levels of rituals that's being practiced, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, and it's like, it's to the point where we have been pre-programmed to do rituals ourselves. We have been pre-programmed to do rituals ourselves. A ritual is a lie. It's part of the matrix. All got to do with spells. Ritual. Right comes from the word, or should I say, right has to do with a certain level of sorcery. With your wizards and your witches. You look at the pharmacy. Come from the word pharmakia, which basically means sorcery. When you look at the things like Dwayne Reed, look at that pharmaceutical company, Dwayne Reed. See, these people, they never hide nothing from you. Never. They never hid anything from you. What they did was compromise your ability to comprehend truth. They compromise your ability to identify truth. It's like they programmed you to have such a false mind. And you had the false mind all your life that when someone comes along and starts telling you the truth, you would never be able to process it. Another spell. When someone has an inability to process the truth. There is only one reality, and that is truth. There is no, like people would say, many different realities and all that. You got to be, you know what I'm saying? Got to be specific with that. As far as on this planet, they would say reality is what you're making and things like that. Nah. If you have been coded to process lies, then the reality that you will create would be a lie. There's only one reality, as I stated before. God. God is the only reality, and God is truth. Straight up. But yeah, they program people to not recognize the truth. So then you come along and start talking about these pharmaceutical drug companies and Dwayne Reed, and if you look at the logo for Dwayne Reed, you see it's the Holy Grail with the phallic in it. Or some might call it the witching pot. The witch pot that Gargamel from Smurfs used to use. You know what I mean? That Gargamel used to use. Always used to be stirring the pot. When you look at cartoons like Thundercats, the old Thundercats, I ain't talking about the new one. You know, I never checked out the new one, but I heard that there's a new one. But I'm talking about the old Thundercats. When he was Mum-Ra, no, Ra. I mean, come on, it's obvious. Used to do his little ritual. Ancient spirits of evil transformed this decayed form to Mum-Ra, the ever-living. And he sat around a holy grail, that big ass sphere, big bowl that he had in his temple was a holy grail. And then he had the obelisk around it. And then when you look, you will see him have like ancient statues, ancient deity statues. He had the robe on. The robe that he had is no different than the character Sith from Star Wars. The same robe, the cloak, hooded robe that they wore in the movie, like Eyes Wide Shut. The same cloak, hooded robe that Luke Cage wears, because a hoodie is a cloak, hooded robe. You know what I mean? It's just more fashionable right now. But when you look at the hoodie, it's a cloak, hooded robe. They just made it fashionable. You know, symbolism is behind everything, man. Ain't no such thing as just clothes. You know what I mean? And you seen that when when Mum-Ra used to transform, on his chest, he had the symbol of the Caduce, which is the symbol of the sun. As I stated before, that S on Superman's chest is not so much a serpent, because you know our peoples used to use certain life species to describe celestials' activity, movement, attributes, and things of that nature. So when you see them using the serpent, the double helix serpent, aka the Caduce, that they actually talking about the twin suns that's flying through space, the Earth, not the Earth, the real planet, because all energy travels in waves. Wavy, baby. So the sun moves sort of like a serpent. So that's what the symbol on Superman's chest really symbolizes. It symbolizes the sun in transit. It's not so much a serpent. They will want you to think it's a serpent, so you could just focus on the creature. But you got to know our peoples always anthropomorphize something. You know what I mean? They always anthropomorphize everything. Yeah, they had it all in the cartoons. When you look at the cat's lair, you're looking at a sphinx, a so-called Egyptian sphinx. When you're looking at the Thundercats lair, they had it all encrypted. Lion-O was the Lord. He is the orphan. You don't see how many times they have these people who's supposed to be like, even in the music industry, you always hear about somebody who blew up in the music industry, or even acting, entertainment industry, period. Their mother or father would, like 50 Cent, his mother or father died, and he was adopted by his grandmother. Doesn't that sound like a Peter Parker theme? Doesn't that sound like a Superman theme? His mother and father, you know what I'm saying, died on Krypton. Then he came to the farm and they rose him. His so-called grandparents, because it's not really his grandparents, but those people adopted him, and he considered them his grandparents, and they raised him up on the farm. You don't see the farm with the wheat. The wreaths symbolizes Saturn, because they grow the crop known as corn. The word corn come from Chronos, and Chronos is associated with the planet Saturn. It's all the same template, man. It's all scripted. It's the Matrix. It's not real. You always hear about some star like LL Cool J. Another one who was raised by his grandmother, I think. Biggie Smalls. His pops wasn't around. You know what I'm saying? It goes on and on. Pac. His pops wasn't around. Jay-Z. His pops wasn't around. You know what I'm saying? It's always the same thing, man. It's the same template. So it's no different than you looking at Thundercats. Lionel. He had who? He had Jaga. Jaga was his guardian angel or his grandfather. Jaga. Who used to come in him in holographic form and communicate with him, because Lionel's pineal gland was activated. That's why he would hold the sword of omens. Om. That's one of the vibrations. You know what I'm saying? He would hold the sword of omens up to his face and said, "Sword of omens, give me sight beyond sight." What is sight beyond sight? Sight beyond sight means give me the ability to comprehend what I'm looking at. That's sight beyond sight. Sight has to do with you looking at certain objects, but the beyond the sight would mean to identify what you're looking at. So Lionel would say, "Give me sight beyond sight," and then you would see you would see the sword horns grow when he would be like, "Thunder, thunder, Thundercats." You know, thunder is a vibration that the earth kicks off. That's why boom, boom, boom. That's all vibrations. That has to do with the energies increasing. I spoke about that mildly. Like when you hear thunder, sometimes that could be the planet picking up the speed. Sort of like jets. When you hear jets go to Mach 1, Mach 2, Mach 3, it's like they break the sound barrier. Go boom, boom. They have that in the video game with Guile, the military guy. Sonic boom. When he does the sonic boom and he throws that energy out, that's the yin yang. Sonic boom. You know what I'm saying? So he's like thunder, thunder, Thundercats. Ho used to be something sacred. Now they incorporate, because the Ho has to do with the Holy Grail. That's why you have Ho in the word holy. Has to do with the Holy Grail. So they invoking the feminine energy. But he will hold a sword right up to his eyes, and you see his forehead and all that. Gives me sight beyond sight. His eyes start glowing like what? Fire. Because his energy is now rising, and he's activated his pineal gland. So now he activated his pineal gland. Now what he could do? He could see beyond the matter. Sight beyond sight. When you see beyond the matter, you see the energy. Just like in the Matrix, Neo had sight beyond sight. When he was looking at the environment, looking at the people, he saw beyond the sight, which would be the matter. Now he's seeing the energy. Same thing with Lionel. So now his pineal gland came online. You know what I'm saying? And now he's activating all these special abilities and powers where he could see into the spirit world or see into the holographic realm and actually manipulate certain times, because he was able to get like a forewarning. He was seeing the spirits for what they were, or should I say he was seeing the bodies for what they really were. You know what I mean? All of those, all cartoons, man, have some form of esoteric encryption in it. Don't think that it's just a cartoon, man. If you thinking it's just a cartoon, man, you fully trapped in the Matrix. Hold on for a second, man. Go get this client. You're fully trapped in the matrix. Straight up. They would tell you that it's evil and that satanic and Illuminati this and Illuminati that. That's part of the matrix. Fear is part of the matrix. Fear is not real. Fear is part of the matrix. Lying is part of the matrix. Love is part of the matrix. Hate is part of the matrix. Feelings is part of the matrix. It's not real. Because when you come out the body, there is none of that. You can't judge things vicariously and think that vicarious description that you're describing is in its totality. It's not. It's not accurate. You're judging things based on the body. You got to see things how the soul sees it. When Lion-O activated his pineal gland, he was seeing things how the soul sees it, man. You know what I'm saying? But yo, man, I'm up out of here. I got to go get this client, cuz.